I transmigrate into a story as the villain, and the system's orders are simple: drain the female lead dry, then dump her, clear the way for the male lead to swoop in. Except the system got my entry time completely wrong. Vivian has $200 to her name, and the system's orders haven't changed one bit. Player, go seduce her, get a Maserati out of her within a week, a mansion within a month, seduce her, deceive her, and then squeeze money out of this broke woman who is about to jump off a roof. I go head to head with the system. I stand my ground, arms crossed. The system goes quiet. After a few seconds of silence, it finally chokes out an awkward admission. Sorry player. This overworked intern just started the job, and made a tiny little mistake with your deployment time. According to the original script, you were supposed to transmigrate 2 years ago. It coughs twice, trying to sound calm. But hey, no worries. The timeline's off, but the villain's mission stays the same. Then it drops the act entirely and wails, "This is my first job and I already messed up this badly. My boss is going to destroy me. Player, please save me. Help me cover this up. Once it's all over, I will absolutely pay you back. I'll request double points from my supervisor." Now, if I had transmigrated 2 years ago like I was supposed to, in the original story, Vivian's company had just gone public, riding a massive wave of success. She was the hottest name in the business world, a rising tech queen everyone was talking about. Forget a Maserati, she could have bought a mansion on a whim. Plenty of old money tycoons were lining up to marry her into their families, chasing the perfect power merger a match of titans. But almost no one knew that Vivian's grandfather had once been in an accident out in the countryside and was saved by a young farmer with the family name G. They made a promise: if either of them ever had children or grandchildren, those children would be betrothed to each other. Families joining families. But then the Lias were called back to the city, and contact between the two families slowly faded away. The childhood betrothal was forgotten by everyone. Until me, the scheming, cold-blooded villain, stumbled across that story somewhere and traveled all the way across the country to shamelessly impersonate old Mr. G's grandson Sebastian. I lied through my teeth, mooching off Vivian, conning her out of her money and ordering her to date me, to get engaged to me. And then the moment she was framed and driven to bankruptcy, I was supposed to vanish without a trace. Not even flinch if she tried to end her life. Never look back. Because the real Sebastian is the true male lead of this story. In the original novel, after old Mr. G passed away, Sebastian discovered the childhood betrothal in his will. He took train after train, transferring endlessly, until he finally found Vivian's company. And the very next moment, he sees Vivian standing on the rooftop, teetering on the edge, swaying, about to jump. That's the setup. Because this is a redemption story, the real Sebastian would never walk away like a heartless villain. He's gentle, kind. He saves her at her lowest, most desperate moment. But where is he now? Where's the soul-stirring rescue? Why is it me, the villain, standing here instead? The system coughs twice. Sorry player, due to a system error, the male lead's arrival has also been delayed. He won't meet the female lead for another 2 years. So in the meantime, could you please follow the original script and deceive the female lead just a little? I am absolutely about, to unleash on this system. But before I can even open my mouth, right there on the rooftop edge, Vivian takes one deliberate step outward. Her right hand cradles the necklace her mother left her. Her whole body sways. She looks like she could fall any second. If the female lead dies, the entire storyline collapses. No coming back from that. My brain is about to explode. There's no time to think. The next instant, I throw everything I have into my legs and sprint forward, arms locking around Vivian's waist. Lost in her grief, she never saw it coming. She lurches backward, and we both crash down onto the ground. She stares at me, this stranger who came from nowhere, for a long moment. Slowly, understanding seems to dawn. She shakes her head, a bitter smile on her lips. "Thank you for saving me, but I really don't want to live. Once you leave, I cut her off. You're still going to die?" If this were the real Sebastian, he'd comfort Vivian, gently and warmly, pulling her back from the abyss. But I'm not him. I can't steal the male lead script. So the next instant, I raise my hand and slap her. "You dare die? Do you know who I am? I'm the man you're supposed to marry. We haven't settled our agreement yet. How dare you die?" Vivian is completely stunned. A man just dropped out of thin air, claiming to be her future husband. Anyone would be thrown off. She has been a CEO for years, but she's remarkably patient. Even after being slapped, she just shakes her head. "You've got the wrong person." Next second, I slap the other cheek. "Wrong person, please. I know exactly who you are. You're Vivian Liu. Your grandfather and my grandfather were sworn brothers. They arranged a childhood betrothal back in G Village." I catch my breath. Keep going. "Everyone back in my village knows the Liu family made it big. You've got a company in the city, a mansion. You're a CEO. You can't just pretend this betrothal doesn't exist. I'm supposed to be your CEO husband, after all." Vivian rubs her reddened cheek. She thinks for a moment, stands up, and looks at me. Something clicks. "Sebastian, right? My grandfather did mention something like that, but the Liu family has collapsed. I'm not who I used to be. I can't give you the life you want. We should," she's about to say, "call it off." I absolutely cannot cannot let her say that. Because if the betrothal is called off, what's stopping her from slipping back to that rooftop edge the moment I turn away? I lunge forward and grab her by the collar, full villain energy. I scream in her face. What do you mean? You want to dump me, you heartless, shameless woman? Everyone in my village knows I came here to marry into money. If you break this off now, how can I ever face anyone again? Fine, I'll just die then. And honestly, by this point, I've actually convinced myself a little. I shove her aside and charge toward the rooftop edge. Don't anyone stop me! Vivian has never seen anything like this in her life. She freezes for just a split second, then sprints over and throws her arms around my waist. Her voice is shaking. Don't do something stupid. I'll marry you. Just don't do this. Oh, Vivian, your biggest flaw is that you're too kind, too gentle. You don't even want to live anymore yourself, and yet you still can't bear to watch someone else suffer. I let the corner of my mouth curl up. A quiet, satisfied smirk. Like we've been friends for years, I sling an arm around her and casually steer her toward the stairwell door. Good. I'm glad you've come to your senses. Let me tell you, I'm quite the catch back in my village. Plenty of people chasing after me, and I'm not trying to rip you off. Just give me 300,000 when we get married. That's all. Vivian's head snaps up. She stares at me hard. I told you I have no money. I wave her off, cutting her short. No, money? Then owe it to me. Waving it is not an option. I lean in close. Babe, you don't want people laughing at me, do you? I'm emotionally fragile. If you don't treat me right, I just might jump off a roof. Vivian goes quiet. More accurately, after everything she's been through, the bankruptcy, the suicide attempt, she's completely drained. She simply has no energy left to argue. This former CEO, thanks to the bankruptcy proceedings, has nowhere to stay. There's a small rental apartment not far from here, arranged by the system just 30 minutes ago. Even broke, Vivian carries herself with an elegance that feels completely out of place in this cramped little apartment. She hides every emotion behind a blank expression. She just holds tight to a small box her mother left her and quietly says, "Thank you." Her face is stunning. I stare a second too long, then let a small smile show. Why so formal? I'm your future husband, remember? Because I'm nothing like the kind-hearted male lead. Staying by my side as the villain, there's plenty of suffering ahead for her. Vivian genuinely wants to die. She has nothing left to hold on to. The ambition she once had is ground to dust by the betrayal of friends and business partners. In the cramped living room of the rental apartment, she curls up quietly on the worn sofa, wrapped in the first custom gown her father gave her when her startup first succeeded. It carries too much meaning. She never could bring herself to sell it. Night has fallen. No matter how hard she tries to force herself, she can't sleep. Every time she closes her eyes, she's back on the day her company collapsed. Stock prices in freefall, investors calling in a frenzy, the panicked faces of her staff. Everything frozen in that one terrible day. Her life now permanently stamped with one word: failure. Vivian sits up. She presses her hands over her face and stays like that until the first thread of sunlight creeps through the curtains. She still wants to die. Failures don't deserve to live. As for the betrothal, she has no solution. But Sebastian is still young. Better that than being dragged down by a wreck like her for the rest of his life. She can write a note. Explain everything clearly. The Liu family is gone. There. No longer worthy of the betrothal. Mind made up, Vivian closes her eyes. She leans back on the sofa, takes a deep breath, then reaches for a pen and paper. She's barely written the first line when, smack, I slap her across the cheek. Do you know what time it is? Get up and go find a job. The female lead has a very good temper, but even the most patient person in the world, after getting slapped this many times for no reason, can only take so much. She snaps to her feet and crushes the half-written note into a ball. What is wrong with you? Are you done? She glares at me. Her eyes are blazing with fury, and honestly, seeing her like this, I relax. I'm not afraid of her anger. What scares me is when she goes dead quiet. I clear my throat. I grab her by the arm and sit down beside her, raising my voice with just a hint of wounded pride. I'm your husband. Can't I even give you a couple of slaps? You should be reflecting on yourself. As my future wife, you need to step up and take some responsibility. Are you planning to live off me forever? Vivian's face cycles between pale and red. Even the system is impressed. You actually went with the family responsibility angle. How is she supposed to feel okay about dying now? I dig through the cabinet and pull out a laptop. I don't expect much from you. With your education and experience, landing a job that pays tens of thousands a month should be a walk in the park. Send me your resume. Now, I'll post it on the job boards. This time, Vivian doesn't push back. She quietly accepts my contact request and sends over her resume. It looks like it was made a few years ago, back when she first started her company. I skim through it, and I am nearly blinded. Top university, advisor who's a national academician, papers published in top-tier journals. But the real kicker, every single startup project she'd been involved in had secured serious funding and delivered impressive returns. This woman is absolutely brilliant. What job could she possibly not get? I go straight to every major job platform and mass apply with one click, blasting over 100 companies in seconds. Vivian catches the look on my face. She gives a small, self-mocking smile. That's all in the past. The way things are now, I doubt any serious company would take me. I cut her off. Stop putting yourself down. Then my phone starts buzzing like crazy, multiple companies messaging through the app back to back. Hello, are you currently seeking employment? Is this really Vivian Liu? Ms. Liu, we'd love to schedule an interview at your earliest convenience. Polite, professional. And every single one of them is a name I recognize. I grab Vivian's arm, grinning. See that, future wife? Plenty of people see exactly how capable you are. I check the salary ranges. Solid numbers. Go, interview, go work, earn money, then give it all to me. I spotted this watch online the other day. day, I've clearly worn her down. Vivian sighs, stands up, and pinches the bridge of her nose. Fine, I'll go now, but don't expect anything. I look over at her. Want me to come with you? She shakes her head. No need. Even though she said no, and even though her mother's things are still back at the apartment, as a player chosen by the system, I'm not taking any chances. I decide to quietly tail her, just in case a certain someone gets any ideas. Fortunately, nothing unexpected happens on the way. Vivian stays composed. The company she's heading to is one of the ones that messaged me through the app. Not the biggest, not the most well-known. Starting smaller to improve her odds. Makes sense for the female lead. With nothing to do, I grab a bubble tea, settle onto a planter, and start slurping through the tapioca pearls, while logging into a game on my phone, killing time with zero enthusiasm. I'd figured on waiting a full hour, then sneaking back into hiding, to follow her to the next interview location. But then, barely 20 minutes in, the system shrieks in my ear. Player, look! The female lead looks like she's being thrown out. No way. I jump up and duck behind a nearby tree. It's just an interview. Did she clash with the manager's values? Some kind of personality conflict? How? Does anyone get thrown out of an interview? But sure enough, Vivian is almost physically shoved out by the security guards. She stumbles, thrown off balance, barely catches herself. Behind her, several people in security uniforms are hurling insults. Too far away to make out the words. The system is equally baffled. What is going on? Player, should you go check on her? I think the female lead's emotional state is a little unstable. Vivian's head is down. I can't read her expression. She's still clutching a printed copy of her resume. Should I go to her? I shake my head. Vivian's life before this was smooth sailing. She was exceptional in every way. What she's going through now is unlike anything she's ever faced. If I show up right now, I'd be forcing her to expose the lowest, most humiliating part of herself, right in front of me. That's its own kind of cruelty. I pull out my phone, think for a second, and send a voice message. Babe, how's the interview going? Let me know when you have news. I'll be home waiting. Across the plaza, Vivian takes out her phone. She glances at it. She replies almost immediately. Got it. Vivian stands there a moment, straightens her clothes, then walks toward the building next door. This time I don't wait outside. I'm too curious. I slip in after her and position myself just outside the interview room, pressing my ear to the wall. Then a voice carries through. Vivian, I didn't think you'd actually come. Have you forgotten about your old best friend? She emailed every company, told us not to help you if you came looking for work. I'm sorry. If I'd known, I would have warned you before you made the trip. Don't bother trying anywhere else. Some places might not just turn you away, they might humiliate you. I go completely still. What? Who is this best friend they're talking about? Lucky. For me, Vivian doesn't come out right away. She keeps talking to the person inside. I stay and listen until the picture becomes clear. She was betrayed from the inside. Vivian had treated this woman like an older sister. After her parents both passed, it was this woman who encouraged her to step out of the darkness and try building something. So when Vivian's company took off, and this woman came asking for internal data, Vivian handed it over without a second thought. The woman turned around and sold it to Vivian's competitor. Together they drove Vivian into bankruptcy. And then, cool as anything, she said, sorry, when there's money on the line, what is a friend worth? Now I finally understand why Vivian is so set on dying. She has genuinely lost faith in the world. If it had only been the bankruptcy, maybe she could have pulled through. For an entrepreneur, there's always the possibility of a comeback. But what if there's more than that? Parents, gone. Betrayed by your closest friend. Can anyone still hold on? After all that? While Vivian is still inside, I quietly slip away. I'd meant to head home, but there's a brand new dessert shop right outside. Walk in and buy a 6-inch chocolate cake. When I come out, Vivian is just stepping out of the building. No security guards this time. She looks more composed than before. Expression calm, neutral, and then our eyes meet. What a coincidence! I just popped out to grab some lunch, and here you are. My tone is bright and easy. Never mind the fact that just 2 hours ago Vivian had texted me very seriously to inform me that we weren't at the stage where pet names were appropriate. I throw my arm around her anyway. It's like we're meant to be. So, did you just have an interview? How'd it go? Any results? Visibly, Vivian stiffens for just a moment. Few seconds of silence. Not a word, like she's holding everything in. And then she can't anymore. Results? Failed. All of them. Failed. No company wants someone like me. Nobody in the world wants me. I told you, the betrothal should be cancelled. Wasting your time on a wreck like me only hurts you. She steps back, putting distance between us, head slowly dropping. She turns her face away, bracing herself, like she's waiting for another slap. Fair enough. My whole character as the villain is hot-headed and brutal. Zero empathy. And I've already slapped her multiple times in just 2 days. She closes her eyes, bracing like she's ready to face the worst. But this time, what lands on her cheek isn't a slap. It's a soft sigh. Gently I reach up and touch the top of her head. Who says no one wants you? You still have me. I'll always be by your side. When the male lead finally arrives, I'll have to leave Vivian. But she's in such a fragile state right now. One small, well-meaning lie can't hurt. Vivian seems completely thrown by what I just did. She's frozen for a long moment before she slowly straightens. She looks at me, unblinking, each word deliberate. You won't leave me? But Sebastian, look at the reality. I'm not a CEO anymore. I can't even get hired. I'm not the person you thought I was. You might end up supporting me. I yawn. I wave a hand. Yeah, if nothing comes up, nothing comes up. I take her hand. Come. home and eat cake with me. I had a bite earlier. It's incredible. From now on, whenever something goes wrong, we buy this cake. Deal? A moment later, Vivian slowly wraps her fingers around mine. She gives a quiet little hum. Deal. And just as expected, Vivian stops job hunting for a while. After the failed interviews, she holes up in the apartment, not completely idle. Cleaning and cooking fall to her. But most of the time, she's curled alone on the sofa, phone in hand, doing who knows what. A few days pass. Now the system is panicking. It starts pushing me. Player, please. The female lead isn't actually done for, is she? How are you so calm? The mission. The mission! If she ends up broke for the rest of her life, how are we supposed to squeeze anything out of her? Isn't this a complete betrayal of our core mission? I've had enough. I dig a finger in my ear. I clear my throat. Sure, I could slap her back into action, but at the end of the day, whether she gives up or keeps going, that has to be her own choice. Think of a student studying for exams. Parents and teachers can push you once or twice, but the drive that makes a top student has to come from within. And Vivian, I believe she'll get there on her own. 5 days later, Vivian is finally heading out. I'm in the bedroom playing games, and catch her out of the corner of my eye, standing in the doorway. She glances over at me, lashes lifting. She's wearing the gown her father left her. In her hands, a thick stack of documents. The edges are soft and worn, like she's read through them many times. She calls my name. Low and quiet. Sebastian. I make a vague sound of acknowledgement, and don't look up until the round ends. I fake shock at her outfit, eyes going wide, and shout, "Babe, what's happening? Are you running away?" Vivian presses her lips together. She shakes her head slowly, then goes quiet, like someone gathering their last nerve. She draws a deep breath. I've thought about it. Sebastian, you were right. I can't keep living like this. I still have you. I can't drag you down forever and become dead weight, always, depending on you to take care of me. She glances down at the documents and speaks slowly. I'm going to try to start over. New plan. From the very beginning, one step at a time. Trust me, I won't let you down. I set down my phone. I pull her into a tight hug. I believe you. And Vivian didn't let me down. She didn't let herself down either. In 2 years, she pulled off a genuine comeback. She fought her way back to the center of the business world. Once again, everyone was talking about her, calling her a legend. The female lead's plot armor helped a little, sure, but more than anything, it was Vivian. I'd never seen anyone with such relentless energy. 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night, meeting investor after investor, pitching for every deal, every dollar. She had no shortage of enemies, but some people were moved by her sincerity, willing to give her one chance. With limited capital, she clawed her way back, piece by piece, until she reclaimed her old company building. The Vivian who rose from that valley was no longer the shadow she'd been, and somehow the two of us had grown closer. She became clingy. Every lunch she'd come home, this woman who used to hate asking anyone for anything. No idea who taught her this habit. In the early days when the company had just launched, money was tight. Most of it poured back into growth. But as the business found its footing, things stabilized, and Vivian finally stepped back into the life of a CEO. Without me saying a word, she'd send home the latest watches and shoes for me to choose from. 2 luxury cars, a villa, all in my name. Hold the bank card. Her income goes straight into it. Every month she keeps just a few thousand for herself as pocket money. Over 2 years, it's added up to nearly 30 million. Then one evening, an ordinary evening, she gets off work. I'm walking hand in hand with her when she suddenly pulls a red velvet ring box from her pocket. She looks at me, each word careful and deliberate, dead serious. Honey, every cent in my bank account is yours as a dowry. Can we get married now? Vivian has apparently gotten very comfortable calling me honey. 30 million compared to the 300,000 I originally asked for. That's 100 times more. But can I actually say yes? My head feels like it's exploding. What do I do? We've come this far. What possible excuse could I use to refuse? I can't exactly tell her the truth, that everything was a lie. So the wedding's off. Then the system's voice cuts through, right into my ear. Player, brace yourself. The male lead is coming back. The real Sebastian. What? My hand had already started reaching out, and now it freezes. Slowly it pulls back. The real Sebastian. I have to admit, Vivian has been so good to me, always calling me honey. For a while there, I almost forgot about the male lead entirely. Almost started believing I really was the G family's grandson. But now, it's time to give her back to who she truly belongs to. The system clears its throat, a note of guilt in its voice. Sorry, player, for telling you this at a moment like this. The male lead is native to this world. Due to the system glitch, the real Sebastian only found out about the betrothal 1 week ago. He arrived in the city just yesterday and is heading toward Lu Tower as we speak. Then the system turns to me. As for you, player, your mission is complete. As agreed, all your points will be returned to your account in full. You may leave whenever you're ready. I lift my gaze to Vivian, standing across from me. In this stretch of silence, over a minute now, neither of us has spoken, still clutching the ring box. But as the seconds stretch on, her expression shifts, brow drawing together slightly, like she's bracing herself. She has clearly noticed something is wrong. She takes a breath. Sebastian, what's the matter? Is it the style? You don't like it? Should I go get a different one? I fight down the ache of what's coming. I look at her, hard, trying to burn her face into my memory. Then I walk over and pull her into one last hug. I love it. Don't change it. Hey, do you remember that little chocolate cake I bought the day you went to your first interview? Wait, here, I'll go get one. We'll celebrate tonight. And that's where my part in this story ends. As for everything after, the system kept its word. It doubled my original mission points, converted to cash, and deposited into my account. On top of everything Vivian had already given me, I am, by any measure, genuinely wealthy. And since all of it only exists in this world, I choose to stay. I ask the system to set me up with a new identity, under my real name, Liam. That same night, I board a flight and leave the city, heading south. As a wealthy man, I fall into a life everyone would envy. Fashion launch events, lying back and watching the number in my bank account grow, just marveling at how fleeting it all feels. 2 years later, the lavish, empty routine has gone on long enough. A wild thought strikes me. I make a decision that would horrify my ancestors. I'm going to invest that money and start a business. The thought hits me while I'm playing games with my guys. One by one, their jaws drop. Dude, have you lost your mind? People like us are supposed to just sit back and enjoy what we have. Do not go stirring things up. Exactly. You know the Wang family's oldest son? My dad talked about him my whole childhood. So brilliant, so talented. And then he started a business after graduation. Lost over 100 million in 2 years. You could buy a lot of things and still not burn through that much. Fair points, all of them. But here's the thing. Those years with Vivian completely spoiled me. Everything handed to me. And whenever I got irritable or difficult, she'd lean her face toward me, bringing it close, looking up at me, voice soft. Sebastian, are you upset? You can hit me if you want. Didn't you used to like that? I genuinely miss those days. Later, I realized there's one type of person in this world with the least dignity of all, employees. Pay them a few thousand and you can order them around, yell at them however you like. So I figure, why not just be the boss? Against all expectations, I turn out to be remarkably good at it. Not only do I not lose money, I actually start turning a profit. At the bar, everyone's jaw hits the table again. They all beg me to teach them. Please, I'm begging you. My company keeps bleeding money and my parents are about to cut me from the family tree. All the flattery has my head in the clouds. Honestly though, it's no great mystery. Just applied what I learned from handling Vivian. Shouldn't young people struggle a little? Everyone goes through it. If others can do it, why can't you? Reflect on that. Work harder. Brutal? Yes. But our salaries are 7 to 8 times the industry standard, with top-tier benefits and international trips every year. So even putting up with a boss like me, top talent still lines up to join. Because anyone who's been forged under my management never fears any boss again. I raise my glass and scan the eager faces around me. Actually, tonight, our company just happens to be closing a deal with another firm. Come along and watch. The hard part is done. Just formalities left. That's why I feel comfortable bringing them along to show off. The guys erupt in cheers, pile into cars, and we roll to the office building in a whole convoy. I lead the group toward the conference room, calling the employee handling the deal on the way. Figured everything was settled. But before I can say a word, my contact's voice comes through shaking. Boss, we just got word. The silent investor on their side isn't happy with several details and is coming in person. What? This company, I've never dealt with them directly. They're a northern tech startup founded only a few years ago, recently acquired by a mysterious behind-the-scenes investor. This person is deeply private, almost never appears publicly, but the gossip says her life took a sudden turn. She had been about to get married and was abandoned by the person she loved right at the proposal. Since then, she's become cold and ruthless, impossible to get close to. I squeeze my phone, brow creasing hard. This contract isn't even that big, just a few million. Worth this person showing up in person? My contact keeps talking, voice still coming through the phone. They're saying the profit split doesn't work. They want to renegotiate, plus the project plan, projected costs, long-term margins. The more I hear, the more my patience frays. I've already reached the conference room door. I shove it open and start letting them have it. Are we seriously doing this? The deal we gave you was already the best offer on the table. And now, after everything we agreed on, you want to change things? You think I'm someone you can push around? I know this isn't my team's fault, so all of it goes straight at the other side. I don't care who this so-called big investor is. I always give fair room for profit in every deal, and I never back down. Plenty of companies want to work with me. If this one doesn't, there's always a next one. I square up, staring them down, fist clenched, just about to slam my fist on the table, when someone grabs my hand from behind. She steps beside me, carefully prying my fingers open one by one. Her face leans close, and her voice brushes past my ear. Don't hit the table, hit me instead, just like before. Might that help? I turn, stiff, and freeze. It's Vivian. She is the investor. 2 years and Vivian looks almost exactly the same. Her hand still wrapped tight around mine, her gaze burning, like something fierce and obsessive is alive behind her eyes. I've been looking for you for so long, Sebastian. Every head in the room turns toward us, not just the other company's team, my own guys too. They crane their necks and start whispering. What's going on? Who is she? Some kind of investor? Anyone? Heard of her? Meanwhile, Vivian keeps holding my hand, calling me Sebastian over and over, and it's making me spiral. I slap her hand away. Stop calling me that. I'm not Sebastian, do you understand? I was a fake. You have a real fiancé. Those 2 years, it was all a lie. Yeah, all a lie. But does anyone know that for just one moment, I wished I really were Sebastian, someone who could, openly, honestly, stay by her side. But I'm just a player summoned by the system, a greedy, vain villain. So Vivian, whatever you came here for, you have someone destined for you. Please, stop looking at me like that. Stop pulling me back into the memory of those 2 years. Because otherwise I might start believing that even someone like me a con man who only ever wanted money, actually fell for you for real. I shut my eyes, one deep breath, then I wrench my hand free, and run. I bolt down the stairs. Brilliant. By the time I actually reach the ground floor, I realize I rode here with my guys. My own car is parked somewhere else entirely. Calling a driver now would take too long, but a few minutes later, a Rolls-Royce pulls up. The window rolls down slowly, revealing Vivian's face. Her voice trembles, words tumbling out unevenly, but she gets my real name right. Liam, after you left, I never stopped looking for you. I know you're not Sebastian. I know you have a new identity now. But what does any of that matter? Those 2 years between us, that wasn't fake, so why did you have to leave? Her eyes are red, like she's fighting back tears. I look away. Pause. Something pulls at me unexpectedly. But what about the real Sebastian? Vivian, he's the one who actually made that promise with you. Vivian blinks, looking momentarily confused, like she can't quite understand why I'd bring him up. She thinks, for a moment, then something settles. Sebastian? Alright then, let's go see him. By early evening, Vivian and I are standing together in a different city. The whole thing feels surreal. I'm still processing it. Vivian has already called her assistant. Did you reach Sebastian? Send me his address. And let him and his wife know we'll be stopping by. His wife? Sebastian got married? By the time Vivian and I are sitting in Sebastian's bright, spacious living room, I am completely dumbfounded. His wife has a wonderfully warm personality. I blink a few times. Eventually, I pull Sebastian out to the garden. A little awkward, I start, Sebastian, I'm sorry. I borrowed your identity for 2 years. If it weren't for me, would the story have turned out so differently? Sebastian scratches the tip of his nose. Same reaction as Vivian, completely thrown off by what I said. He takes a moment, then shakes his head and laughs. No, it's fine. Actually, I have you to thank for meeting my wife. He sees my confusion. He starts going back. You know, when I first tracked down Vivian, her temper was unbelievable. She called me a fraud to my face. Back then she was juggling everything, looking for you, rebuilding the company, going after everyone who'd betrayed her, running herself ragged every day. I wasn't interested in her at all. I only showed up because the Liu family was the only connection I had in the city. Figured I'd try to hitch my wagon to someone successful, but watching her rage every single day, walking around with that dead fish face, I decided this was someone to stay far away from. So, I told her straight up, the betrothal is off, but the second those words were out of my mouth, I walked out the door and there she was, my wife, standing outside Liu Tower with flowers saying she was one of Vivian's business partners, and that she'd wanted to meet me from the moment she saw me. Sebastian claps a hand on my shoulder. Warm, easy tone. So look, don't beat yourself up over using my name. If Vivian and I had actually ended up together because of some ridiculous old family arrangement, neither of us would have been happy. The people who should spend their lives together are the ones who actually love each other, who actually choose each other. Liam, I've found my person. What about you? He's barely finished when Vivian bursts out of the house, probably because we've been out here too long. Her face shows a flash of anxiety and panic until she spots me. Then she relaxes, just slightly, and strides over, and throws herself into my arms. She tugs at the corner of her mouth. She pushes my phone into my hand. It kept going off. Someone must be looking for you. I glance at Sebastian, take the phone. And sure enough, dozens of messages, all from the group chat with my guys. Because Vivian had shown up out of nowhere, and I'd bolted without explanation, they have completely lost it. What is going on? Is Liam involved with her? I give it 80% odds we won't hear from him tonight. Liam won't be swayed by a pretty face. He's probably already back together with her. What? My face goes red, then pale, cycling through. Nearly hurl the phone at the ground. Vivian glances at the screen too. She touches the tip of her nose. Liam, let's get our second chance. Sebastian and his wife both turn to look at me and Vivian, wearing the warmest smiles. I feel my face go warm. I pinch her cheek. Quit. She doesn't push it, but it's late, too late to head back. Sebastian offers to have us stay the night, but I don't want to impose, so I book a hotel nearby. Vivian walks me to my room and lingers in the doorway, like something is weighing on her. After a moment's hesitation, she picks up where the afternoon left off. Liam, I want to start over with you, I mean it. I know she chased me all the way here. I can't keep dodging this forever. But what about the practical side of things? Vivian, your company is up north. I've built something real here in the south. Moving isn't something I'm willing to do. She cuts me off quickly, shaking her head, firm. Liam, you never have to adjust for me. I'll come to you. I've already started shifting the business center this way. Within a year, I can be based in your city full-time. I pause. As far as I know, the Liu family has never left their home city, except when her grandfather was sent to the countryside. Then something clicks. Wait, this contract. Why were you people being so impossibly picky? We had everything settled, and you were still complaining about one thing after another. Vivian panics. The tips of her ears go pink. Before I can finish, she jumps in. No. Liam, I just needed a reason to see you. Your team said you never show up in person, so I came up with this terrible idea to draw you out. Please, forgive me. And forget the project. You can have all of Blue Corp's profits if you want. That takes me back. 2 years ago, Vivian had handed me her entire income to do with as I pleased. Her expression now is exactly the same as it was then, completely serious. Her gaze is clear, and there is a red velvet box, the ring she never got to give me. Liam, will you still take it? The afternoon light feels like it has traveled through 2 years and landed on me once more. I close my hand gently around the box. No longer the player pretending to be Sebastian. Just this once, a real chance for the real me and Vivian to begin